tuning in again to the James Show. We are on episode, I don't even know what episode we're on. We've had so many episodes, and actually, that doesn't even matter. Right now, I want to get into my special guest, Ms. Wanda Peyton. But before I have her speak, let me read off some of the accolades for some of you all who don't know what Wanda has accomplished and what she's all about. She has a brand new book out called My Back Was Against the Wall, and I've been reading it briefly while we're sitting here. And when I tell you this is an awesome, inspirational, motivation book full of value that you're going to have to pick up, it is wonderful. We're going to hop back into that. But published author of My Back Is Against the Wall, Until I Learned How to Manage My Emotional Energy, Then the Game Changed. Participating author of Mark Victor Hansen's book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. Now, that's an interesting title. Mastering the Law of Attraction. Featured in the national documentary Women in Business. Appeared in 10 national publications, including U.S. News and World Report. A certified human behavior consultant. Now, you know we all need one of those in this day and time. A real estate performance, spiritual, and life coach. A certified health and wellness coach, and a motivational speaker, and just a wonderful, wonderful overall human being. Miss Wanda Peyton, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
No, thank you for
James.
coming.
I'm just so honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You have no idea. My heart is palpitating right now because you're just here. And I've known you for so long. And every time I see you, you carry the same energy, no matter if you're in a good mood, bad mood, that you're upset, disappointed. No one can ever tell because you just carry so much light.
Because I bounce off of your light.
Okay, that's wonderful.
You're a walking light. So light sees
that.
Light, and light bounces off of light.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, I want to get back to the beginning because I know that you were a top producer. And back in the day with real estate, culturally, sometimes people of color, we didn't get those type of opportunities.
That's right.
I want to know how you got started, how you got that opportunity, and how you took it to the next level before you became the publisher and motivational speaker.
Well, when I first started in real estate, I think my first year, my 1099 said $6,000 for the entire year.
Wow. Okay. All right.
For the entire year, I was struggling because no one was sharing any information.
Right.
When I say no one, I mean sure other speakers if you go and pay for the the courses, but to sit down like you and I do, and talk about what are your so-called secrets or no one was doing that.
Okay.
It just seemed like it was a sense of this is mine. I don't want to share it with you because I don't want you to have any of it.
I'm gonna hold it close to the chest.
Exactly. Right. And really, there's enough for all of us.
Absolutely.
There's more than enough for all of us.
Right.
In fact, if all of us got all that was out there for us, there would still be enough left over.
Yes, it would be.
But that wasn't the consciousness. I've always been a person who believed in the power of the mind.
Okay.
The book talks a lot about my humble beginnings.
Okay.
A mother of 7 children, 5 stepchildren, and 2 biological children, and living in a 2-bedroom house. And coming out of that situation, I learned about the power of the mind, and I translated what I learned then into my second career, which was real estate.
Okay.
The power of the mind. Okay.
Okay.
And one thing that I can definitely say is that going to see Mike Ferry, he said some words that really made sense to me, and he said, "This is a numbers game."
Okay.
It's a numbers game.
Right.
Those people who control listings control the market.
So is that what you started focusing on?
Exactly.
Okay.
I started learning how to do expired listings. I just listened to the tapes. So if no one's sharing this information, I'm not a victim. That's okay. Keep your information.
Right.
I'll go where I can get it.
Right.
And I'll listen to it. And I would listen to back then I'm 78 years old.
Okay. So when did you get started?
This is back when I was in my, I guess my early 30s when I started. But Tommy Hopkins was a big...
I remember that, Tommy Hopkins. Okay.
And he had some tapes out, and I would put them in my tapes. You remember
Right, the cassette tapes.
Yes.
Yeah, these are all... This is prior to the internet, and these are the cassette tapes that you actually put. They had the Walkmans and everything else. Yeah, so you listen to it that way. I get it.
So I put them in my car
Okay.
and sit in my car and listen and listen and listen over and over and practice and over and over and over.
Sometimes people do that. They'll go to, like you mentioned, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry. They'll go to all these Danny Morrell, and they'll go to these seminars and the rah rah shish kamba.
Right.
You listen to it. After you listen to it, what did you do to put that into action to make it a reality?
Let me tell you something. I went to a seminar called, it was called Secrets of the Superstars, I think.
Okay.
And I heard the stories of people like Dodie Donahue and some other mega producers.
Okay.
And I took that set of tapes home, and I played those tapes so many times. I would be putting on my makeup. We'd have makeup all over the cover, the outside, because I'd be putting my makeup on. I'd be listen to it again, listen to it again, and listen. And what happens is, while you're listening to the actual guidelines or basics of what they're doing, you begin to feel, and this is really important.
Okay. Talk
You
to
have
us.
to transcend from feeling like you don't know or don't have or you'll never have into I got this. It's an energy.
Okay.
And listening to them, I took on their persona.
Right.
I took on what my life would look like if I was doing the big numbers.
Once you get to that, you thought outside of your mind as you were already there.
Yes, like Les Brown says, you have to see yourself beyond your circumstances.
Right. Right.
Your situation.
Okay.
So I began to see myself as one of them. So I am driving in my head. This is what I wanted at the time. I got my Mercedes. I got my, and computers weren't even a thing right then.
Okay.
Yeah, they were just kind of getting in.
Right.
So I began to walk and talk kind of like a mega producer. I remember going back to my office and I said, I got to clean up my act.
Right.
I need to change my business card. I need to make my listing presentation look professional, as if, I'm already a mega producer.
It's the brand.
Exactly.
Right.
And this is even before really brand. So, but I had the flip book, the 3-ring binder where you put it on the table and you go like this, and this is. And
I remember.
That was my presentation.
Okay.
Right. And so I would do that. I would, I went back. I got my act together. I said, everything's got to go. My car's got to be clean. My book,
You transformed your mindset. You transformed your thinking.
See, I wasn't that person anymore who was carrying that raggedy book around.
Right.
I'm a new person now.
Right.
So I'm walking like I'm already a success. Right. And I'm telling you, when I finally got it, I remember my assistant. He used to line up my listing presentations. I would have 3 a day. He'd have 9, 12, and 3.
Wonderful.
And I'd come in the office and they'd be lined up like this. They would be like staggered.
Right.
And I'd pick up a folder and do like this and read it and they'd go, okay, that one's good, and go to this one. And he'd already done the comps and already done the stuff. And
you're ready to go.
Yeah, and then I'd go to my first appointment, and as soon as I got there, we finished the appointment, I walk in, and I had it already, even staged.
Right.
So I want my business cards in one hand, in this hand, so I can shake the hand.
That's
this
good.
Hand.
I love that.
I get out of my car and I want my clipboard so I can start writing when I see as I'm walking in.
Right.
I'm writing the roof needs some work. The sidewalk looks like there's tree roots. So I'm writing on my little notes.
Taking your notes, right.
And I walk in and they go, oh, let's go sit at, no, let's sit at, can we sit at the table in the living room and let me just take me through.
Right.
Just take me through. So that was my thing. We'd come back to the table and I would say, hey, just let me do my little dog and pony show.
Right.
And then we'll get into the price and all that.
Right.
And they would allow me to do that. I'd walk out with the listing. I give them a sold sign right there. I said, we're going to sell this. I want you to take this sign and keep it here.
Advance,
so we're going to go put the sold sign. Back and then they would put the sold sign out. Right then. And I said, in here, I got the key tag. And I get outside and I walk and I call my assistant and I said, okay, we bag them, tag them, start rolling with the marketing. Boom, and go on to the next appointment.
Right.
That all came after a mindset change.
Right. So that was a serious mindset change.
Yes.
You totally reinvented yourself. And not only did you reinvent yourself, you took yourself, and this is the perfect example I can give to any person watching. You took walk by faith literally, meaning that you put one foot in front of the other and you started walking by faith until you achieved that goal, and then you moved on from there.
Yes. And then I used affirmations too.
Okay.
One of the affirmations I use, like in the book when I started my real estate, my security guard company, was, and the affirmation is again for your soul, for your consciousness. Everywhere I go, I meet opportunity, I meet success, and I give thanks in advance.
I love
Everywhere I go, I meet opportunity, I meet success, thank you, Father. Everywhere I go, I meet opportunity, I meet success, thank you, Father. Everywhere I go. Who can mess with that?
Right, right.
And the thing is, if you walk out and you didn't get it, it wasn't for you.
Right.
On to the next one.
Right, right. And that's why and not only that, it's a numbers game, as you just stated, and your assistant lined up 3 for you. So if you have 3 in one day, you guaranteed to get at least one.
At least one.
Minimum. And if
and
let's just say you line those up, I don't know, let's just say once a week, hypothetically. I don't know what the numbers are, but once a week, that's 3, 6, 9, 12. So out of those 12 appointments that you have, just 50% would be 6. That's great for a month.
Let me tell you something. My average sales price was $82,000.
I love it. But that was a lot back then.
Let me tell you something else. When I started in real estate, interest rates were 19%.
And people were happy to get that.
And people, because
where
they
do I
had
sign?
creative financing,
Right.
They had, ways to have a second and a quiet third, and whatever, because people were still needing to buy homes. They still needed a place to live.
Right.
So when agents complain about rising interest rates, I'm like, give me a break.
Right. You ain't seen no rise in interest rate. You ain't seen 19,
how about
10, 12.
trying to get somebody in a house where where they have 18, 19% interest?
Right.
I remember when interest rates dropped to 13%. We were in the office like, whoa, did you hear that, girl? Down to 13%.
I love it.
We are going to kick butt and take names. We got 13% interest rate.
That is good.
So, you
don't want to hear it.
Everything, no, everything is relative.
Yes, and everything revolves and comes full circle to where it's a different level. You just have to make the adjustment. There's nothing new under the sun.
Exactly.
Make the adjustment.
That's right.
You get into real estate, and then you end up getting a HUD contract, if I'm not mistaken, or Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac.
Yeah,
contract.
exactly.
You're one of the first people to get a really big contract like that. What is that like, and how did you maintain that? And not only that, back then, there's no social media to publicize yourself. How do you end up getting that contract?
My husband and I at the time, and it's interesting that we talk about the Freddie Macs in particular, because I can't say that without remembering that my husband was my partner and taking the Freddie Mac contract up to Crestline when he was killed.
Oh, wow.
And he was killed by, a speeding motorist coming down the hill, Highway 18. And I had to close that deal. I had to find, the pieces of that contract, put it to get back together and get it closed. So there is a commitment when you are working with these corporate clients.
Right.
They are not your most of the asset managers aren't warm and fuzzy friends.
So they wouldn't have been sympathetic.
You because there's something, that you have presented in your proposal that they felt that you could do the job.
Gotcha.
I don't think we were any more special than your average agent.
Okay.
I just think it was a lot of it. I'll be honest with you, James. I think it was timing. Our proposal got on the desk at the right time, the right place. But had we not submitted it, we would have never been considered.
Right.
And
so you went for it.
Once we got our first contract, I think it was with Fannie Mae, and then they referred us to Freddie Mac.
Oh, nice. So how long did you have that contract?
Freddie Mac had, we had 6 or 7 or 8 other banks, a Long Beach Bank, they were savings and loans in addition to
So it's like a domino effect.
Exactly.
Once you got one, you got another one, and the word got around that you all did a great job.
That your experience, because they don't really want to teach you how to do REOs.
Right.
Because, the better qualified their agents are, the better they look.
Right.
And it's not easy because, they will list a property based on their statistics, and which is not always
correct. Right. Right. They could be
doesn't
off.
always compare to your comps.
Right.
Well, maybe they need it a little bit higher because they're selling it retail, and so now you've got to you're in the market and you have to be competitive, and you've got to. And it wasn't like this market.
Right.
There were a lot more sellers. So, working with the banks, it has been a lesson. It wasn't easy. There were times when I lost my assistant. Let me tell you what I learned when I lost my assistant. When I lost my assistant, what I learned was, remember this.
Okay.
Systems are omnipotent. Systems. My assistant was an amazing systems guy.
Okay.
An organizer. Those contracts that came in, the same thing needed to be done the same way each time.
Right.
The packages needed to be laid out the same way, the same time.
Okay.
We had just started with computers, and so he had templates for me.
Oh, nice. So he made it easy for you.
I just need to fill in stuff here, fill in that. That's what he would do. When he left, then I could pick up the ball.
Right.
Because he had set up the systems.
Right.
And as far as the bank was concerned, our customers, they couldn't tell whether I lost the system or not.
Right.
Because this you understand?
Yes.
The packages were superb. They were
Gotcha.
excellent. They gave a good presentation. And dealing with the agents, another thing that over the years, many agents today will say, "Oh yeah, I know you back from the Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae days. We sold one of your listings." I mean, I get that all the time, even
That's
now.
good.
And the reason that happened is because, unfortunately, and I have to say it, a lot of times when an agent has a robust inventory and working with a corporate client,
right,
you can't talk to them, you can't reach them, you don't have, they don't really treat the agents who are on the street selling their listings, going out to no man's land to show a property for them that they're gonna get paid.
Right.
They don't have the respect that I think is required to work with your fellow agents.
Got it.
I had that, and not only that, because I've been in their shoes. How could I not have that?
Right.
I could see, the struggle before I'd gotten there.
Right. You had that empathy for them.
Exactly. So having that empathy caused me to tutor some of them. That's really a lot of them, my coaching came into. It wasn't a paid coaching, but somebody getting started wanted to know, well, what should I do? And I said, listen, if you're going to do this contract, let me tell you what you have to do to get this. Get this approved.
You paid it forward from when you didn't have any help. You started helping people.
Exactly.
And that was a blessing.
Let me say, listen, sellers get all of this and this. Don't try to put this, and they're not going to work with this. And if you want this, these are the things you need to do.
Right.
We can get that in. We can get your buyer in the house.
Good deal. How long did you have those contracts? From how long of a period did you have all those contracts? Did you work that?
Oh, I would say. My husband was killed in 2002, so it was maybe a good 5-7 years, maybe.
That's a good run.
Yeah, maybe it was that long.
Okay. And you kept
and
going.
then they came back. So
once again.
Yeah.
So we want you back.
So then we went to edit. I want to say addition, but we went to phase 2, so to speak. When I was with Keller Williams, I contacted my asset managers and asked them if they remembered me. And they said, "Of course, yeah, we remember you and your husband. You were one of our favorite brokers."
Right.
And so I was able to bring those contracts to Keller Williams.
And they let you do that?
Yes, they did. I brought in Keller Williams because at that, even though the contracts, belong to the broker, but unless there's someone that they know.
Right.
So it was like an entree, and they know me. I'm working for Keller Williams.
Right.
I brought it there. I created a team through the Skolnick team, and
it worked out for you.
It worked out.
Good deal. After you have that long run with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and the other banks, you decide to make a transition into inspirational speaker, into motivational speaker, into a coach. What makes you make that transition from, because having those contracts are very lucrative. Anybody who gets it, right?
But they don't last.
Right.
The market changes.
They do.
And there's no longer a need for REOs.
But 7 years is a good run.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you have that or you worked a regular job, what makes you make that transition into the next phase of your life?
I had a story, which is
In the book? Okay.
which is in this book, about the power of the mind and the transformative power that we each have to move ourselves out of any situation to higher ground.
Okay.
It's kind of like, I call it the she or he who whispers, who keeps saying, come this way, I got something for you, I got something for you. And I knew before I got into real estate I was going to be speaking and writing.
Oh, nice.
I knew, because I knew I needed to share.
Right.
And when I transitioned out of real estate into, I was still coaching, but I was still speaking all along. And so, very blessed today to be doing it.
Still to this day,
because
right.
this is my passion.
Okay.
Real estate, even though it was lucrative, it was a means to an end.
Got you. So it helped you to maintain yourself until you were able to do your passion full time.
Exactly. And while I was doing real estate, I was still
Exploring your
coaching and
passion.
speaking, because that's what fills me up. Yes, the checks were good.
Yes.
I mean, they were coming in, $20,000, $30,000 a month. They were good.
Right.
But it wasn't the so I needed to be fulfilled in addition. I'm not going to give up the real estate.
Right, the revenue. I got to pay my bills.
Right, I got to pay my bills, and I'm not Tony Robbins.
Right.
So my need and my desire and my urge to make a difference in this life right now to somebody who can't pay their rent or whose car is being repossessed, or and I've got a little extra in my account, and I can make that difference, man. I know how Oprah feels, and I'm not anywhere close to what she is. But just an ounce of that feeling of, giving and making a difference in somebody's life,
makes a difference. Now, how long have you been doing motivational speaking and coaching full time outside of real estate? Because obviously you're not doing real estate anymore, but how long have you been following that passion so far?
Well, actually, I think around 2000, when the pandemic kind of took me out of the game, I didn't get COVID, thank God.
Good. That's a blessing.
But the real estate market, really changed. But I'm still coaching and speaking.
Okay.
But at that point, and I had my beautiful True granddaughter. Her name is True, TRU.
All right.
And as I'm getting older, and I'm really wanting to make a difference in her life. I want to make an impact.
Right.
I don't know how long I'm gonna be here.
Right.
But I want these years. My daughter Tori had her late in life.
Okay.
So she was already 50 when she had her. 50.
Oh wow. Okay.
46 when she had her. So here comes this little bundle. So I started focusing my energy
on your granddaughter.
On my granddaughter.
Okay.
She's the only one I'm ever gonna have.
Right.
And so I started doing that and pouring into her what I want her to know.
Right.
And so while I'm doing that, I'm doing speaking, and I'm doing coaching.
You're balancing the two.
And now I'm doing a lot of writing.
I love it. Before we get into this book, I want you to tell people, with your coaching, with your one-on-one, with your giving back, if someone wants to hire you or book you, what is that process like? Not the amount, but they can still, if a company wants to say, hey, we want to book Wanda, like an Eric, you remind me of Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas, when you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, he's that motivation.
Yes.
He's that motivational speaker. He wears the hat. And I'm gonna send you some videos of Eric Thomas. That passion he speaks with is exactly how you sound.
If you wanna succeed as much as you wanna breathe,
that is him.
Yes, that was an old African story about this young man who went to the wise one of the village and asked that question.
That's right.
And he took him out to the lake.
That's right.
And he walked him over.
That's
right.
right.
And when the water got up here, he was like, he said, I want to breathe. He said, well, when you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, you got it.
Exactly.
You're going to do it.
So people who want your services, want your energy, want your upliftment and inspiration, how do they get in touch with you?
They can go to Wanda Peyton. Wanda at WandaPeyton.com.
Wanda at WandaPeyton.com. They can also follow you on Instagram.
They can follow me on Instagram
and
Facebook. Yes.
But you're on both of them.
Yes.
And I'll make sure we have your information on that. I understand that you had an opportunity to get an honorary lifetime membership of CAR, which is the California Association of Realtors. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm really honored.
Okay, that is an honor.
You know that
means you put in a lot of work.
Yes, and I survived. I'm
That's right.
I'm here in my 70s, and I've been consistently working as a realtor.
Right.
And so I put in the hours and the time, and so that really what it means is I'm an honorary lifetime member. I don't have to pay my dues.
Okay, that's
year,
a blessing.
And I don't have to. I don't have to take the courses.
Oh, good.
Anymore for licensing courses.
Wonderful.
You of course you want to stay as involved in learning basis.
Up to date on what's going on.
And even though I'm not an active realtor any longer, I still wanted to be a member.
Okay.
And I wanted to be current and I want to be able to, serve my family and friends if I needed to. So I still want to be involved.
Well, good. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. That's a big accomplishment as well.
Yes, it is.
Because the California Association of Realtors, that's all of the state of California. That's not just Southern California.
Right.
That's very impressive. And not only that, it goes to the depth of your knowledge of real estate and then just how much work you've put in.
Yes.
Over time.
Yes, I was very honored after all these years.
Right.
I wasn't really expecting that, but I'm honored that I have that really right now. I have a little certificate that says,
nice.
Along with my little certificate, I'm an honorary lifetime member of CAR.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Now I'm excited about this book that you put together. My back was against the wall. I want to show the people that. Before we started, I was reading. It was just happening. I don't even know how I got to this page, but it was chapter 4, page 11. I remember because that statement was so powerful. I wanted to do a video of it. So I want to read a little bit of that.
Go ahead.
That's okay?
Yes.
All right. So this chapter 4, page 11.
You want me to read it?
I can read it.
Okay.
You want to read it?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I want you to go ahead and read it. Go ahead. That
Okay.
paragraph right down there. Let's go ahead. Let the people hear it. I love that.
The next lesson was a critical one. Stay away from negative people. You may find this action challenging and revealing simultaneously, as you notice that most people in your life match your negative ways of thinking. But do not be concerned, as you will feel increasingly aligned with your higher self. And as you do, you will also feel uncomfortable around negative people.
Right.
And intuitively desire to gravitate away from them.
Right.
You will consciously desire to include people in your life that reflect the reforming, transforming you. In my experience, the one observation that became so shocking during this process was just how damaging my own thinking was. I never thought I was thinking negatively.
Right.
I thought I was just merely thinking. The awareness of how negative my thoughts were was a powerful revelation. No wonder there was so much trauma in my life.
That's the word right there.
Right there.
That's the good word. And not only that, that goes to the statement that you may see on motivational videos or on memes on social media, that your circle or the people around you make a difference. Because you're talking about your thinking, how it's the norm because of these people in your life at that time, but it's not normal. It just seems like that because who you're around.
Everybody, someone would say, this and that happened to me. My kid did this. He was kicked out of school. And I would say something like, girl, that's nothing. Wait till you hear what happened to me.
Right.
And you just think.
So it's a build of
that's
negativity.
Normal.
Right. And it's not. It's not normal.
No.
It's not.
I mean, you are creating the situation in which you find yourself. Wherever you find yourself today can be trapped right back to your mind.
Right.
And
now,
what you were thinking about when that happened, 90% of the time.
and that mind, if that is in conjunction with someone else's mind and someone else's mind, then that becomes the norm in your circle.
In your circle.
And that's not what you want. Just like when we're here and we're talking about advertising for the book. So
Right,
I'm saying,
right.
let's do this. And we got
Right.
Vance behind the corner. And then we
Right.
just care what it really, because like mine was saying, look, you don't
Exactly.
need to be perfect. Let's just get to work and get this done.
Right. The
And that's it.
momentum that
Yes.
came out of just our conversation.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, these two lights meeting and
Yes.
talking.
And that makes a
that's
difference.
the reason, too, and I put this in the book, that once you begin to realize that you're better than this,
Right.
that there's more in life for you than what you've been experiencing. And you begin to go through the process of making whatever your process is.
Right.
Does not have to be what my process was.
Right.
But whatever your process is, keep it to yourself. You start telling your friends and they want to bring you down.
Right.
They want to say, oh, don't do that. What are you doing that for?
Right.
Or are you all that? Or, you know, what's wrong? It's like and I put this in the book, a bucket of crabs. You've heard that analogy.
Crabs in a barrel. Right.
You try to you see one crab trying to get out of a bucket and all of a sudden there's a claw on his back trying to pull him back down.
Right. Because they want to get out.
Because, no, and they don't really, some of them don't want to get out.
They just
And they don't want you out
That's
either.
right.
Because
Stay
if
here
you
with
get out, it reflects on them.
That's right. Now I look
It
bad.
makes them look bad.
Because I don't want to be explicit, but I'm not nothing. And if I look at myself as not nothing, and you want to become something, I don't want you to become something I'm not nothing. And I know I'm not nothing.
Exactly.
Because I want you to be here with me.
Right, exactly.
And that's where the jealousy and
You
the
got
envy and the holding back comes.
You got it.
At what point did you realize that in your road to success? I want to get back into the book, but at what point did you realize your friends, and what kind of changes did you make with the people that you were around?
First of all, I was a little bit more selective.
Okay.
So I started pulling back from those people who I used to be so negative with,
Right.
my negative buddies. I started pulling back. And as I continued the lessons that I was involved in at the time about transformation, and I talk about this coach who coached me, I realized that I had to protect the pearls in my mind that are so powerful.
Right. People don't realize that.
You know, there's something
Say
in
that
the Bible
again.
that says, don't cast your pearls upon the swine.
Right.
I mean, your mind is everything.
That's right.
Your mind is everything.
And your mindset.
Before you go on a listing appointment, get your mind together. Before you go on a date, get your mind together.
Right.
Before I came here, I got my mind together. I set an intention that this was going to be a beautiful connection.
Absolutely.
And that this higher power called God was going to flow through me. And I just left that and came on in and doing my thing.
I love it.
The power of the mind. So you can't afford the luxury of sharing those, allowing the negative, dark, I call them energy drainers and vampires
Right.
into your life if you want to change.
Right.
If you don't,
Stay the same.
you want to
Do
just
what you want.
hang out with the people and feel okay and don't want to do as TD Jake said, you don't want to become what God has for you to become, then don't do that.
Right.
If it's more important to you to be be accepted
One of
by
the
your
crew
friends and by the
and
group, then do
popular
that.
people, yeah.
Do that, but don't complain about it.
That's right.
To me.
That's right. I love all of that. That transferring energy and the point that you made about protecting your mind is so
Yes.
important, because when you look at people who go through things, or people who are manipulated, or people, men and women who are in a strange situation, they wonder how they get there, or they're not strong enough to leave, it always starts with the power of the mind. It always starts with the will and desire. Just like people talk about Kobe and the Mamba mentality. His mindset was at all costs that we're going to win.
Yes.
Whatever it takes, we're going to. And I think
Yes.
as he got older, he matured in that thinking and made some adjustments, but he was 100% tuned in every year,
Yes.
every season,
Yes.
that we're going to make this happen, and this is how we're going to do it.
You know, I talk about Tiger Woods too.
Right.
You know, the Tiger Woods the mentality when you would see him hit a ball into the sand dunes.
Right.
You know, from the time that that he's in that sand dune until he's watching where that ball's got to go.
That's right.
He's got to do some transformation. He
Yes.
can't be talking about, oh shoot, look what I have. God, how did I do that? Dang, what happened to me? I thought I had. He can't do that. That's yesterday.
Right.
That's a minute ago.
Right.
It's about what am I going to do about it now.
Right this second.
Let me tell you, in order for him to do that, he had to have practiced. You don't just do that. You don't just switch your mindset.
That's right.
It takes practice, meditation in the morning, contemplation,
prayer.
It takes prayer,
focus.
I use a gratitude journal.
Right.
I use an evidence journal. And talk about that in the book.
Okay.
An evidence journal is when you're making a transition and you're on your way into something new, and you have, you put it out there, and it's coming, and you see the evidence, the seeds of it. You start writing it down. Oh, this happened, that happened today, this happened. What does that do? It makes you, it makes you stronger.
It makes you faithful.
It makes you faithful. It makes you know something is happening.
Right.
And it wards off all that in the book. Negative thinking.
That's right.
I call ants, automatic negative thoughts.
What made you write this book? I want to get into that a little bit.
I think it's
what did you
obvious.
get to? Well, I mean, obviously, yeah, the energy in which you have.
This has been my story.
Okay.
It's been my story, but I found a way to do it that made sense to me, working with a company, and I realized that it didn't have to be as big a deal as I thought, and I've always wanted to write, and like a lot of it was like, oh, that's going to be too much. It's going to be too big. It's going to take too long. It's going to be
your mind. You already had these thoughts in your mind.
I had these ants working in my own mind.
Yeah.
You think I'm not without ants?
Right.
Of course I am.
Right.
I've got them. I work on myself every day and every minute of every day.
Right. We all have to, because we all have those thinking. So I want to run through these chapters really quick.
But let me just say this. I wrote the book to no disregard to the men in my life, but this book is for women.
Oh, this is for the ladies. Okay.
This book was written for women, mothers who are struggling like I was, career women who don't think that they can make it, but they're still trying. Maybe they're working a job and they're selling real estate too, because I haven't been able to cut one off to get to the other, not making enough, or their kids are active, or their relationships aren't quite, and they just feel stuck.
Right.
And so this book is a book of encouragement and a book of motivation, hopefully, and inspiration.
Okay.
And not that you have to follow every step that Wanda followed, but just to know that there is a greatness within each of you.
Right.
That's why I wrote the book.
I love it.
For the thousands of women I've coached over the years.
Well, we want every woman on the planet to pick this up. We want every woman out there to read it. And men, go buy this for your woman.
Yes.
Because she'll appreciate it,
yes,
and she'll treat you right. She'll treat you better. She'll give you some props for it. So I want to run through these chapters really quickly. It's 8 chapters, right? So chapter 1, introduction, my story. Chapter 2, my back is against the wall. Chapter 3, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yes.
That is nice. I like that. Let's go to, chapter 4, lesson number 1, clarity. Lesson number 2, step into the feeling place. Let's keep going. Where's the next chapter? Lesson 4. Okay, chapter number 5, our innate power.
Yes.
Give me a little bit about the innate power.
That's what I was just talking about.
Okay, that's the innate power.
Yeah, you have it, James, and you know you have it.
Oh, well, thank you.
You know
I feel like a Jedi now.
Yeah. No,
good.
You have that innate power. It's a power within you, between you and your God. When you align yourself with that power greater than you, then it's like you can do anything.
You put your mind to. That's right.
And it comes with the software. It comes when you were born.
Right.
It comes to you. You don't have to earn the power. You have it.
Right.
You may not have been able to contact it,
you gotta use
realize it, or aware of it. But man, let me tell you.
Yeah. Once you tap in, it's over.
Once you tap in, and once you become aware of it, watch out.
That's right. Number 6, I like this, getting into action, because so many of us talk about certain things, or like you said, we listen to the tapes, or we go to the rallies, and we pay for coaching, but we got to get into action.
Right.
That's chapter number 6. Chapter number 7, conclusion, and chapter 8, resources. This is a beautiful book written by a beautiful person.
Oh, thank you.
And I want everybody to pick this up. But even before this episode airs, we're going to push this book so we can bring people to feel the same energy that you're seeing on this video. You put all of this into here. So if you can transfer that electronically somehow into the book, this is where it is.
And the audio will be out in about a week, so it'll be available on Audible.
So Audible and then,
I forgot. This is Amazon.
How do people pick this up? How do they buy
Amazon,
this?
yeah.
Okay, so Amazon.com.
Yeah, and they can get the print version, or they can even get the Kindle version, for $0. I mean, just go in there and download it right now.
Because all we want you to do is be inspired. I mean, obviously we want you to purchase it. That helps, right? But we definitely want you to be inspired by what's in the book.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you so much.
My
I appreciate every
pleasure.
part of you being here. I just feel so much joy right now with
Me too.
you being here, and just so much life. And I knew it was going to be exciting. I just didn't know I didn't know how in depth it was going to be, but I feel like I'm on a first date. I just feel I feel nervous, but I feel good because you just bring so much, and it's a wonderful feeling.
Thank you. Thank you for the gift of allowing me to do this.
Oh, absolutely.
And for inviting me.
We had to get you. People need to know, and people need more of you. And I'm going to make sure that we have all your social handles to contact you. We're going to put the links to Amazon. We're going to do more promotions. I'm going to read some chapters. We want to give you as much attention to this book that we can on every platform on social media.
It's just a little book. It's only 5,000 words. So it's not a long read.
Right.
But it's a kind of book where you can highlight and write notes on the side.
Okay.
And take it with you.
Okay.
Kind of put it under your arm and keep it with you. And that's what I'm hoping for, to touch a lot of souls.
All right. And it's going to be, it's worth it. It's worth it. Matter of fact, I think I want to do, before we even put this episode out the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do a giveaway. I want to give away some books.
Okay.
We'll purchase them and we'll give them away. And I just I just want people to know what kind of energy and what kind of mindset you put into this to transfer to them, to help them. It's almost as if you could plug in. You need a recharge.
An energy transfusion. Amen.
Exactly. So you know how it has the what is that you put into the wall? You just put this into you. Put this into your mind, read this, and you will be completely energized. With that being said, thank you again so much.
Oh,
I appreciate your time. I love you.
Pleasure.
And everyone else loves you.
Thank you so much.
We're going to make sure. Oh, yes. Yeah, I thought you wanted the book. I didn't know what you wanted. You got it in my hand.
I autographed. I mean, I put a little money.
You did. I do. I love that.
I was just shaking your hand.
I'm going to keep that forever. Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you very
so
much. And don't forget, our sponsor of this episode is Grandma's Secret. We have the products here, the cocoa butter strawberry, pure cocoa butter, and a hair thickener moisturizing cream, which we will make sure Wanda has that to use and to enjoy. And we will see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you so much.